Then Soltis continues telling us about Carlsen memory, and he describes it like this. Gatakamsky ridiculed the role that openings played in the games of today's elite players. All they have to do is simply memorize those preparations, get to the board and just show the preparation, he said in New in Chess in 2011. There is no chess skill involved in that, it's just all memory, and that's it. And here Soltis says, this is not Carlsen, he does not sit down and memorize dozens of inexplicable moves that a computer tells him to play. Rather, he has a sponge-like memory that picks up and retains striking ideas from games he has seen. This became noticeable after the game Carlsen-Sipke Ernst from the C group of Wick and Z in 2004. Carlsen was white, he began with E4, C6, D4, D5, Knight C3, D takes E4, Knight takes E4, Bishop F5, Knight G3, Bishop G6, H4, H6, Knight F3, Knight D7, H5, Bishop H7, Bishop D3, Bishop takes D3, Queen takes D3, E6. This is kind of interesting because you see in the French you have this bad bishop that is not able to get out. Here the bad bishop was already out. Now the other bishop can be developed, and black has a kind of grip upon d5 like in the Scandinavian defense. So let's see what happens. Bishop f4, Knight gf6, castle queenside, Bishop e7, Knight e4, Queen a5, King b1 defending this, castle, Knight takes f6, Knight takes f6, Knight e5, Rook a d8, Queen e2, and c5. And here you should pause the video and try to find out how Magnus continued, because it's very interesting. So try to pause the video and find out what is White's next move. Okay, I hope you had time to pause the video and try to guess the next move. The next move is Knight g6, which is amazing because after this move, obviously there is Queen take e6, and obviously you don't want to play Rook f7 because he will take here, right? So he plays this, but White takes in any case because again there are a lot of pieces that are going in that direction. So what happens here is that Black immediately tries to protect this, but it's very difficult. Right, G takes H6, and of course White takes again, and after he takes there is this, because there is obviously the checkmate threat there, so he must stop it, and of course it takes back king g7, and of course at this point you need to bring the last piece that white has into the game, which is made with rook d3, and he can make rook d3 because queen e1 is not a checkmate thanks to the fact that he's controlling that. Rook d6, rook g3, rook g6, queen e5, king takes f7, queen f5, and at this point you see a very famous checkmate that in 2004 was kind of advertised. I think it was queen d7. Okay, here it says how much of this was prep, that is what Carlsen had studied just before this game. The answer he gave Lubos Kavalek after the game was that he didn't even know his opponent played the Caro-Kann. Ernst left my preparation at move 1, Carlsen said. When the opening unfolded, he remembered that 17 queen e2 was book, but it took him 25 minutes to figure it out why. And that's how he remembered that 18 knight g6 had been played before. The fourth new move was 24 g takes f7, improving over 24 queen f6 check, which had led to a draw in a previous game. So, as you can see, there have been a lot of good information that Soltis can give us before the starting of the actual book with the 16 memorable games. He gave us really a lot of information about who Carlsen is at chess level, and many people obviously don't know it because they just maybe follow the tournaments, but they don't follow the evolution of the champion, and this happened more than 20 years ago. So I hope you enjoyed this book, and see you next time.